static planks have never been my favorite exercise, so I decided to improve them and make them more functional for everyday life.
So in this video, we're going to show you some dynamic variations of plank to help work your core and give you a full body workout.
Well, actually, it's dynamic planks. Ooh. Yeah, and we're going to show two versions, one for beginner and one for advanced people. I'm Brad.
I'm Mike, and behind the scenes we have Bob, and together we are the most famous physical therapy team on the internet.
In our opinion, of course.
And if you're new to our channel, please take a moment to subscribe and like this video if you find it informational.
That's right. It only takes a second, actually. But let's get on with it. I did want to mention that this video is kind of made for people 50 and older in that age group, but other people will benefit from it as well.
So I'm not going to watch it. I'm too young.
Exactly. If you're in your 30s, you'll be bored. Anyways, I do think it's beneficial for us to settle down and take 1 minute and 48 seconds to look back in time, because it's very critical. Bob and I did a video that was very popular. It distinctly explains why planks are not my favorite video. Let's go back in time for it. Ready? Woo, woo, woo.
Bob and Brad, the two most famous physical therapists on the internet.
Bob, I want to start this out with 3 years ago, we made a video that was very popular. It was planks. Are they just a fad? Question mark. Right. And we went on. And at that point, I brought out the idea that doing an isometric horizontal plank is not a bad thing to do. It's going to strengthen certain muscles, but I think there's better ways to do it. And the reason is because I have spondylolisthesis. Yeah. I have to have core muscles in order for me to function without pain.
Brad, you were headed down a path of surgery, I think, and also you were to the point where you couldn't run anymore.
Right.
And you, since that time, you've strengthened your core to the point where you're able to run again. Right. You're doing triathlons, aren't you?
Exactly right. So, I'm doing yard work. Last night I was wheeling black dirt from one end of my lawn to the other, and I don't have pain today.
And you have a grade 2.
Right, grade 2. It looks like a train went over L4 and L5. Yeah. If you,
so I think you can speak to this topic with a little certainty. And I think, the whole thing about planks, whenever you're doing an exercise, you got to think of why are you doing it? Right. What is the purpose? And one of the purposes should be that when you do things in your life, activities, daily living, or working out, or when you're doing sports, you can protect your back. Right. And protect, your core.
And we know that the core has to be strong. Doesn't matter if you don't have a strong core, the arm and leg strength isn't gonna help.
Isn't gonna help you.
Right. See, the problem with planks is you got an isometric position that strengthens the front anterior muscles more than the back. And when those muscles get strong or tight, they actually promote
pull you over into bad posture.
Poor posture. Yeah. Right. So we need to work at the other direction. And actually, I'm a big proponent of working all 4 directions, all 4 planes of the back. So,
and the thing is, Brad, it's not just you anecdotally that's experiencing this. Dr. McGill did a lot of work on this in his books, and we're big fans of his. And he spent his lifetime dedicated to treating back pain, and he's talking about some of the same stuff, strengthening your core in a functional way.
Right. So, Right. And I've been looking at a lot of research, and now planks, right now the research is at the point where they're doing suspended planks.
Sure.
And they're consistently better than the static plank.
Brad must be back from time traveling. Brad, I think you took the wrong wormhole this time. And there he goes.
I gotta do something different with that vortex transfer.
Now that you're back, we should actually get back to work, huh?
Yeah, let's go. Okay, so what we're going to show is, I mentioned beginner version and advanced, and this whole dynamic planking also is very functional in the fact that if you're down on the floor like me when I fell out of the vortex onto the floor, I got up on a specific manner because I'm mobile, just as these dynamic planks will keep you mobile, because 25% of people over 65 do fall. And how are we going to do that, Mike?
Well, we're going to do some different plank variations. They help maintain your mobility, getting on and off the floor. They can help develop strength, and it just makes everyday activities easier.
Right. These are really, I think, a really good idea. People are going to like this, and it's just fun.
So when we begin, we're actually going to show non-floor versions because we realize some of you can't get down there comfortably.
Right. For the beginner people, you could try this, and if you see it and you know it's too easy for you, just wait or go forward, and we'll show you the more advanced version.
So for the first variation, you're going to need some open wall space to begin. Now, for a standard plank, most people think they go on their elbows like this and they stand on their feet. If your feet are close to the wall, you're not going to notice much of anything, but the further you walk your feet out, the more challenging it will be. Now, if this seems awkward, which it kind of is to me right now, I'm going to go up on my straight arms like this, almost like a push-up position, and this is how you would start a basic plank variation. Now, once this seems easy, you can start doing some dynamic movements with it. One thing you can do is actually start to walk sideways with it. This is why you're going to need a big wall space if you're moving. You could even do this at a countertop, I guess, but it's going to be a little bit more of an angle. If you are struggling to walk way far out like this, maybe bring your feet in closer if you're more of a beginner. Now, once you
keep your back straight there. Do it the incorrect way with your bottom. Yeah, we don't want to be hunched out. Keep it straight.
It feels a little awkward if I'm being honest.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, geez, you whacked me in the head, too.
You don't know what it's like to be, that's kind of normal for when we get older. So keeping this straight posture is something, have someone look at you and say, oh, yeah, your butt's out. Or some people actually say again the other way. So
you want to focus on your core being engaged, your butt in a nice straight line with your body. Now, if that seems easy for you, something else you can try is something we call mountain climbers. So you actually alternate march with your feet like this. Again, closer to the wall, standing upright will be easier. This will be more challenging, actually engaging my core more. If you're not noticing much, you can start going a little bit quicker pace, or you can start going out to the side for some added hip mobility.
Great. Nice.
I feel like I'm doing a weird dance.
Well, it does look kind of weird, Mike. But it really does. Seriously, these motions really emphasize mobility, strengthen other muscles, and give it a dynamic strengthening benefits for functional movement throughout life. And you want to say something?
I did forget something that we talked about. You can even do push-ups because the top of a push-up is technically a plank. So again, further your feet are away, go into a push-up. Obviously, it's a little more awkward against the wall, but just make sure your elbows don't flare out too much because it's probably going to put more strain on your shoulders.
Yeah. Okay, so that's for beginner. I like to call that vertical plank because your body is mostly vertical. Mike mentioned you can do this leaning further forward if it's too easy on a cupboard, and you need to do the exact same thing along a cupboard space. I don't have a space to show you in this plane, but I would probably go from here, and maybe there, like I said, some people will be strong enough and want to go right to the floor and do the plank. So this is the advanced version. All right. So what we're going to do is start out in this plank position like this. There we go. Now, what we're going to do is I call it the bear claw.
Crawl?
The bear crawl.
You're talking about donuts there.
And now in this, you can put your butt up. It's not like on the wall. And we're just working mobility on the floor. And this, you can see, is directly related to helping you get off the floor in case you fall, or maybe you're doing some work scrubbing the floor, doing some work on the floor trim. It's always things people are doing these things.
I didn't know bears do work on floor trim, but you'll learn something every day.
You'll know. You'll start doing work on your house, and you'll get on the floor when you're 60 years old.
I'll turn into a bear, I guess.
Then you can go sideways. So forward and backwards with the bear crawl, and then lateral motion right to left. Now this one I would bring your butt down, tighten the core, and you can tell by my voice, I'm actually getting a little winded, which is good. My body is working. Then we go to the mountain climbers. Take your time with this. This is really a nice functional exercise because it leads in how you get off the floor, and I'll show you in just a second. Out to the side if you want to. There's all kinds of variations to get you stronger. But the mountain climber, watch what I do right here. I take my right leg, whichever is your strongest leg, and I really bring it up like this. So you're going to practice that. And the reason I put it there is because I can easily get off the floor if I have the mobility to get it up here. The reason why we do this is when we're healthy, it becomes an exercise, takes about 5 minutes. But if you do happen to fall, no injury, think, oh, I can get up because I do this all the time with that dynamic plank that Brad's talking about. So you get over to your stomach, and from here, there may be nothing that help you get up, like a chair or the cupboard. And you say, oh yeah, I've done this a lot in the last year, and I'm strong enough to get up because you've been doing your exercises. See how everything falls together?
I guess it all makes sense if we all become a bear. Anyway, with a lot of those exercises Brad was showing, you can either pick repetitions if you prefer that, or you can do time. So you can do the bear crawl for 15 to 30 seconds, or if you want, I want to go 5 each direction, that's fine too. Just do what you can and work up time or reps gradually.
And if you're unable to do some of them, or if you had a hip replacement or a knee replacement or injury, and this is not possible, maybe your hip precautions don't allow it, that's okay. We do have a video on how to get off the floor, which has been very popular, which is why I added this. People are concerned, and they should be. They should have the mobility to get off the floor, even up into your 70s and 80s.
Now, if you want to check out the video we went back on time on and watch the whole thing with Bob and Brad in it, you can click the video link on the screen.
Yeah, that will be quite... Just watch out when you get through the vortex. Don't want to fall.
Look out for those doors again.
Bob and Brad, the two most famous physical